Hi, I'm Luthiencia, and it is dawning on me that this could be the very first time you're seeing me, the very first video of mine that ever finds itself before your eyes. And although I think at some point we'll sit down and I will have I'll be inspired to, share with you my timeline, my life's, you know, history of my world, history of my life, that sort of thing. But right now, as you're just coming along, um, and interacting with me digitally for the first time, I want to capture this moment to just tell you about the things that I'm, let's just call it things that I'm excited about right now. Okay. You know what's funny? A little side note. Um, it's only from filming videos and then going back and watching them that I have come to notice like what my like favorite word is, and I think it's like excite, excitement. Like I just love that because I feel like it's the beginning, it's the spark of an idea, um, a vision, and just that excitement. Oh my gosh, it's like the energy that propels us forward. Even when we encounter the resistance of, negative information, resistance, that initial excitement um, can just like, you know, um, be the thing that causes us to like forge through all that resistance, because the excitement isn't just a feeling, it is an understanding. It's a vision, it's a clarity that just says, whatever comes, like, I have to do this because it just makes so much sense to me. And then, there are follow up skills, like the ability to explain something, the cause of your excitement, the vision behind your excitement. Um, that's a skill that just then can cause others to capture the vision and understanding. And then that force just becomes um, much more like just larger in size, um, which is great because no one ever accomplishes anything alone. So at this point, I am learning about that communication, um, which is much of the reason why I am making my videos in this very uncut format. Like I could edit and do zooms in and, do all of this like tricks. But not only do I just not have I didn't budget any patience for that. So I just don't see myself, besides doing some color grading to get the colors to really, reflect the feel that I want. I don't see myself like cutting. I might add some background music, but I just want the content that I produce, the heart to heart videos and the mind to mind videos that I publish out into the world to just be um, as untouched as possible by anything other than the moment that they were captured in. So, with that said, excitement and what I'm excited about right now. What I'm excited about right now is, well, first thing that comes to mind, like the setup that I have right now, worked really hard to get my lighting and all of that in a balanced state. So whereas constant improvement, you know, um, is a friend that I intend to keep, I intend to continue to make adjustments, but not for the sake of adjusting, but just in search of improvement and better quality through and through. So I'm excited. I'm excited that, I finally figured out how to get my camera settings right. I mean, something that you would think would just have been um, just a given. It wasn't. I was just like, oh yeah, I have this camera now. Okay, but how do I set up my lighting and exposure and, all that good stuff. So now that I've got it at a state that I'm content with, um, I am excited about that. So that's one thing. Um, I am okay. Let's just get into it. I'm excited about how last year um, I was doing some research on the web, um, like pertaining to the web about the internet and Web3 and just immersive reality, um, immersive experiences, and all of that. I was doing some digging because that is a space that I'm naturally inclined to just be interested in because, you know, gosh, as a teenager, uh, that's how I made my, um, you know, that's how I made my life. Like, that's how I, um, reached for independence and all of these things through doing designing websites. Um, and so I've just always maintained an interest in that. So during this research last year, I stumbled onto a resource that um, allowed me to set up uh, a TLD. But now let's rewind to understand what, and just know I'm doing my best to explain this because my friends and family that I tried explaining these things to are just like, cool, I'm glad you get it. So I really am doing my best to put this into a language that um, that is just as clear as possible. So this is just how I speak. All right. So going back, what is a TLD and da, 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 da. Well, if you've ever used a computer or been on a website, you've interacted with domains, which is, an explanation is like the web address that's in your browser. Okay. So TLD stands for top level domain, and it is everything after the dot. So .com, that .com is the top level domain. So if you have a website that ends at .com, you are renting a domain, right, under that TLD, like in that namespace. So .com is the namespace, and so forth. .com, .net, just the common ones. I think those are the popular ones. Info, .edu even, or whatever comes after the period. That's the TLD. And there's country, like TLDs like .ca or .fr or .au and so forth. So I found this resource and I was playing around, and I wondered if the higher financial numerations had been registered as TLDs, because this resource, free name, allows you to create a top level domain in the Web3 space. And I'll get into that maybe now, maybe in another video. So I was just like super curious about that. And so I started typing, and I typed in .billions, because if you get a blank check, it's like, I have so much good to do with so much money. So particularly, I think what drives me at my core is the desire to see the country that I was born in, my home country of Haiti, to see a complete transformation of my country. And I have felt so deeply while watching the news and things like that, going, man, like, there's just so much good to do with the resources to do them. So I looked it up. I looked up .billions and discovered that I had the opportunity to be the original creator of this top level domain. So what did I do? I pulled and pinched and borrowed and just brought all of my resources together and registered this top level domain in the management of my company. which I set up just to manage the domains. Okay. Or the top level domains and domains. Okay, so I was just like, just really pinching myself. I felt like I had seized seized a moment. I felt that I had done something that I knew that in the future I would be incredibly proud of and pleased with. And then I went on sometime after that, um, not too much after, but I went on and registered dot millions as well. And then I'm like, well, what about the whole trio? So I registered dot trillions as well, all managed by Own the Cosmos, the company I formed. So I'm excited about all of that. It has been an incredibly wild thing to explain. Um, but I just feel pleased with the decision I made to seize that moment. And it was an easy decision. Um, although although the I think the challenge in, just making moves that you know are bold, but that you also know are clear and good, and that makes sense. Um, challenge has been um, being virtually unknown on the internet and figuring out how to bring the vision that I have for addresses that are to be created within these namespaces, actually connecting with the global leadership of these industries, um, beauty, dot billions, homes, dot billions, um, in order to actualize um, these web addresses and cause them to manifest their real potential. So, in terms of actualizing these web addresses into um, what their name represents, like for example, beauty.billions, I want to share with you the vision that I have for these web addresses. And to be clear, I guess we are going to get into it. A really quick side note is that these web addresses are not within the root web. They're not. I'm working so hard to explain all of this. So you are not able to go to your regular browser that you use, your Chrome, your Safari, and your Firefox, and your others, um, to access these web addresses because these are Web3 domains, or the web addresses that are created within these namespaces are Web3 addresses, which are accessible directly through a Web3 enabled browser. And the two, I would say, among the popular Web3 browsers, there's Brave and then there's Opera. But for me, I prefer Brave. And that's because I never tried Opera. I just went to Brave. I liked the name. And I just have been having such a great experience on Brave. So I continue to be a Braver. So back to the vision for these domains. So I imagine immersive reality playing a real part in how these domains end up facilitating the higher tier experiences within the industry that the domain represents. So for beauty.billions, beauty. I think among the coolest technologies, among the coolest technological instruments, specifically for entertainment and just exploration, has to be the immersive eyewear. And I think immersive eyewear will more likely become increasingly common and relevant, um, and much more part of our regular experiences. So, with that hunch, the vision specifically for Beauty.Billions is an immersive space, um, the web address that you step into. So, whereas in the past we scrolled down in front of a screen and that's how we experienced the web, we scrolled up, we scrolled down, we flipped between pages and we read content, or we, watched videos, or we looked at pictures. But for these domains and the experiences that I envision to take place in the future on these domains is such that you put on your eyewear and step into Beauty.Billions or Art.Billions. You step into it. And just every possible option related to the space of beauty and self-exploration, you step into it and you can explore not just products, but how they're made, where they're made, who's making them, the history of the people that are, mixing your lip color, who they are, to really experience and foster and have a deeper intimacy with the industries that we engage in and interact with. Likewise, Art.Billions, I envision Art.Billions to be the immersive experience that you step into, where you can look at the entire globe and see in real time the art shows that are taking place and where they're taking place. And you can go right into them and walk up close to the artwork and maybe even peel back the layers and see what the contents really are. Perhaps you can experience the creation process and get to know the artists, the history behind the pieces that excite your eyes. And even going a little bit deeper into that, you could transpose a piece of a sculpture or a tableau into your virtual space, which is the real world that you live in. But when you happen to be wearing your immersive eyewear, that creation, that work of art that moved you, is within your space. Additionally, for Homes.Billions, I envision Homes.Billions to be the immersive domain that you step into to see homes that are available to you. And there's a motorcyclist outside. To maybe even renovate your own home, to play around with what exactly it would look like if you changed the color, but you're wearing your immersive eyewear and you can completely design the space around you and decorate it and find, simulate renovations and see what they would actually look like, what these renovations would look like within your space, or just actually step into and tour homes and gather inspiration and get to know the material and really experiment with the wallpaper. What would it look like? And all of these things. So this is the core of the vision behind high status domains and these domains in general. And Dot Trillions is actually set aside. Dot Trillions is not for sale. The vision specifically for Dr. Trillions is that it rewards those who are making a great and global impact, um, to be awarded this particular namespace, domains actually within this namespace. And to be clear, one domain per winner within this namespace. So that's the vast vision, and I am excited for the work. It is quite possibly a very, actually, expected. I expect a long road. There's much to discover, and I do feel the necessity to be highly selective, and I'm looking forward to the actualization of this vision. So that's among the things I'm excited about. I'm excited about my life, my family, the world that I'm in. Gosh, my friends, I just feel so fortunate. And in the grand picture, the reason why I labor, the reason why when this opportunity presented itself to me, I I launched forward at it, is so that the bigger picture homework of my life, which is to fund and support the transformation of my place of birth, my country of birth. The fact that, and the idea that the work that I'm doing now can be the equation that results in that outcome really excites me. So I feel like this is a good stopping point, so I'm gonna press 6.